Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
Saturday, August 2nd. Russia finally made the Earth move, not with tanks, but with tectonics. An 8.8 magnitude quake rocked Kamchatka region, triggering a tsunami alert all across the Pacific. Let's just say if Mother Nature wanted to make Russia small again, we've got no objections. Meanwhile, Trump shook the Kremlin harder, moving up the deadline for Putin to end the war. Russia, of course, answered the only way it knows how, by bombing more Ukrainian civilians. And Medvedev, Putin's drunkard mouthpiece with an X account, decided to run his mouth again. He threatened Trump with Russia's dead hand system and nuclear auto-retaliation if Moscow falls. Trump responded by deploying nuclear subs into strategic waters. Message received. It's the only language Russia understands. Now the Kremlin's panicking, launching genocidal propaganda, threatening world war, and clinging to the questionable allies. But Ukraine isn't backing down. Ukrainian forces are holding the line and imposing massive Russian casualties. Even Trump's pointing it out, blasting Russia's losses in public. And those numbers? They're not just stats, they're strategy. Trump is framing Putin as a loser. Bleeding troops, losing momentum, running out of cards. How's that for turnaround? This isn't the end. It's the beginning of the end. And as Zelensky says, helping Ukraine doesn't just stop Russia, it saves the future we all share. I'm Slavi, your co-host. This is Ukraine Update with the Shills. Let's say hello to the hosts. Hi, Mr. Dawson. How are you doing today?
Good. Back is coming along, starting to get back to live streaming around here, which is a good thing on a personal note. Also on a personal note, Joey in the chat, you watch it. Everybody's already on you. There's no point in playing this game, buddy. Just quit it. Cut it out.
Already?
Oh yeah, chirping
early.
like a yeah. But yeah, lots to cover. There's attacks and stuff as well going on, and let's slide over to Commander. How's it going?
Doing pretty good.
We I don't know what's going on. You'll see it on the live thing as well, but for some reason the YouTube chat's cutting in and out. It's cutting in and out for me here. So super chat, shout outs, donations and stuff. We could be a little behind in shouting them out today, everybody. It just seems to be one of those days where the technology has a fist and it's just ready to give it to me.
It's Mercury retrograde. There's like 5 different retrogrades going on right now, so technology is just
it's
wouldn't count on it.
So we'll hopefully everything holds together and we'll see how we do here. Where do you want to start then, Slavy? What do you think?
Well, let's start with Trump. He shortened Russia's ultimatum to 12 days, and I think that's August 8th. So, yeah, Trump publicly slashed his original 50-day deadline for Russia to end its war in Ukraine down to just 10 to 12 days. The new timeline was delivered via Truth Social and alongside threats of consequences if Putin fails to act. Yeah, I mean, good for Trump. It's still questionable if these tariffs will work because it's going to be, as I understand it, secondary tariffs on Russia, which is going to be on like India, Brazil, and
they're about to
already imposed it on India, though.
Yeah, there's more kicking in or something, right?
Yes. So we'll see if it's working on India. But actually, just this morning, I saw that India is not stopping buying oil from Russia.
Right.
So,
Commander, with Trump tooting his horn right now, Putin's not playing ball, so we're going to enact a couple of subs and so on. How much of that do you think is just him dodging Epstein stuff and just being Trump? And how much do you think is really about Russia, Ukraine?
I think that a lot of what he's doing right now is trying to distract the public from the whole Epstein crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he choose right now to announce his giant extension to the White House? And if people haven't seen pictures of that, you need to hunt it down because it's absurd. This giant airplane hangar size monstrosity stuck onto the edge of the building. It's twice as big as the actual White House itself.
Yeah, that's just...
Yeah. But, we need a grand ballroom. They have a ballroom in there. It's not as huge as you want because you want to build something to compensate for your tiny mushroom.
Exactly. Yeah.
And moving the subs, it's an obvious viable threat, but the reality is it's such a vague statement that it could be interpreted as, I'm putting 2 new subs out into the waters to threaten you, or I'm just taking the 2 subs that are always on patrol, one in the Pacific and one in the Atlantic, and repositioning them slightly. It's to be seen as doing something. He's trying desperately to get people to pay attention to something other than the Epstein situation.
Yeah. Yeah, especially as they're moving her into a place where her life could end very easily.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. Trump should be paying attention to the war in Ukraine. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying that I think the timing here is very suspect.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. But in the end, if him putting more pressure on Putin, Kremlin, the whole 9 yards, comes from trying to get out of this Epstein situation, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Right?
More power to him.
Yeah, right? So I hope that the Epstein situation just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed because maybe he'll take more steps to try to, deflect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, after Trump imposed the ultimatum on Russia, Russia launched 8 missiles and 309 Shahed drones across Ukraine. This was one of the largest single night air assaults of the war.
Yeah.
The Kiev strike collapsed a residential block, killing 31 civilians, including children. So
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, Putin is escalating, and Trump needs to, be strong right now, especially now,
Yeah.
because it's the
And I
only
think
way
that-
that Putin will stop.
Yeah, and I think the continued reliance on these terror bombing attacks really is a sign at how impotent the Russian army has become in the field. He has to do something to continue to look like he's a strongman, because, killing 1,000 people a day in order to take a couple of yards that's already starting to have impact on national morale and the economy.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
actually a quote that Putin did an interview with Lukashenko, and in response to Trump, when Trump tweeted that Russia is having insane losses with the numbers and stuff, Putin came out and said, we didn't lose anyone that basically they were supposed to be lost. Like, we didn't lose anyone that...
Yeah. Only cannon fodder was lost, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The Russian equivalent of Trump's statement about people who join the military are suckers.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
at the same time, it's
that's
good.
the autocrat's way of looking at the world. The only people that are important are him and his inner circle.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you can all die. I don't give a darn.
Yeah. Everybody else is a pleb. Don't matter.
I do like it that Trump is tweeting out the Russian losses. It doesn't really matter if he's getting the numbers right. I think it's starting to frame as Russia, lost. So it's good.
Yeah, that is an advancement in his side of the communication, right?
Yeah.
Doing lost numbers instead of saying, "Oh no, he's a good guy. We have a great relationship." There's a big that's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
basically he can't hide the fact that a lot of people are being killed in the war. So he has to acknowledge it somehow. So if he takes charge of announcing those numbers but keeping them small, it seems far more tolerable to the population.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
In just 1 month, Russia launched 6,056 drones. And this is not strategic. This is just bombing Ukrainian civilians, civilian infrastructure, so Ukrainian people would give up. And they've launched a new propaganda, I guess, campaign. They're upping it to call for a genocide of Ukraine. So wipe off all Ukraine. They're not hiding it anymore. Yeah, they're really going like they're. Think we have a screenshot of the article that marks that Russia is stepping up on the propaganda, genocidal propaganda. This is an article written on July 31st. It's Kremlin-run RIA Novosti published. It's an op-ed declaring that no one should be left alive in Ukraine. The piece described Ukrainians as laboratory rats and framed the war as Russia's moral duty to cleanse the region. Yeah, it's insane. It made me sick to my stomach reading it.
Wow.
But it smeared US and UK military commanders and accused the West of using Ukraine as a testing ground for bioweapons. This marks, like a new propaganda wave, and no longer calling Ukrainian Nazis, but now it's subhuman entities and that need to be exterminated.
Yeah, but that's kind of the same language you see the Germans using about, the undesirables, the Jewish population, the gypsies, etc. And that's early on. They trying to frame things to get people accustomed to the fact that these are subhumans, that we're going to be getting rid of them. Don't complain when we start, setting up incinerators next to your homes and spewing ash all over you. That's just part of the process. And I think that's kind of what he's trying to do with Russia right now is keep that push going. I mean, we've gone through they're Nazis phase. Now we're going through they're not even human phase.
Yeah.
Russia is preparing kind of its population for increased brutality by normalizing this extermination as strategic and justified. And it justifies they're trying to justify past and future war crimes. It also cements hatred internally so Russians don't resist any escalation, and to provoke the West to either react or recoil, giving Russia a propaganda win either way.
Yeah, but I think there's also an element of getting the public ready to accept austerity measures. Because we know this is going to start impacting the domestic economy. And if you can put it or frame it in a situation where you're saying, yeah, we have to do this to rid ourselves of this infection, this disease, then people are more likely to be willing to accept all those austerity measures than if otherwise.
Yeah, I tried to get through that article. It honestly made me sick to my stomach.
But
I think in the end of World War II, Nazis, they were just shooting into England, like missiles and stuff. It wasn't strategic at all.
No.
Right? Just bombing it.
The targeting of the V weapons, the V1 and the V2, was so poor that it really came down to we're trying to hit London, which is a very large city. They didn't know where those weapons were going to fall inside London. All they knew is that they could target London.
Right.
It's the equivalent of saying I'm going to hit Colorado as opposed to, Colorado Springs or.
Yeah, they didn't give a rat's ass as long as it was destroying and killing, man.
Yeah, but let's be fair. The Allied aerial bombing campaigns weren't exactly not doing the same thing to a large degree.
Oh, yeah. God, some of the footage you see after the war and whatnot, it's amazing people could live in that. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah. Can you say Dresden?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's a special place.
Yeah. There's a couple of texts that have come through, and there might end up being an interruption, and we might only get an hour-ish today. I'm not 100% what's about to play out, but it turns out I was not informed that Felix does actually have a thing today. So yeah, we'll see how this all goes.
Okay.
Well, we have a question coming in from Captain Obvious. Question for all. Could this all be beside the distraction of the Epstein case? Also a case that the U.S. intelligence services outmaneuvering Hegseth?
It depends on how you're thinking of that, because the U.S. intelligence services don't necessarily focus on, let's get rid of Hegseth. It's who's the person in charge of all the U.S. intelligence apparatus right now. And she's definitely against Hegseth because they're both competing for Trump's favor. And there was enough of a problem with Gabbard goofing up a few things early on that she's kind of on the out. So if she can push Hegseth down, that makes her rocket rise.
I hope she's out. I think she's the most dangerous one. I mean, she's a Kremlin plant. That's clear. She doesn't work for the American government. She works for the Kremlin.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, actions speak louder than words, but in that one, they all kind of come together to really, point at a spade as a spade.
Yeah.
Oh, where else do we want to get into what's going on and so forth? I'm a little distracted here, so Slavy, I'll let you. Yeah.
Well, Republicans push new sanction law to back Trump's ultimatum. The Republican Study Committee introduced a sweeping bill to give Trump full authority to sanction Russia and its backers if the deadline is missed by August 8th. The bill proposes total asset freezes on Russian state entities. That's pretty good. That's what we want. Secondary sanctions on Chinese and Iranian firms. Caps on Russian oil profits and trade. And this would allow Trump to act swiftly without Congress but yeah.
It's every time you turn around, he's trying to be able to do something without other people getting in the way and redrawing the battle lines to try to get the vote more rigged to his side. And the
Sharpie's still not left his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also with all the stuff going on, this is actually good news because we were worried about this, but Trump confirmed this past week that Ukrainians, refugees that are in United States, they can stay in U.S. until the war ends. Trump extended the Uniting for Ukraine program, allowing Ukrainian refugees to stay in the U.S. until the war officially ends. There is over 200. Yeah, this is big relief because it was really scary, especially with the deportations and everything going on. Ukrainians were like, is it happening? Because they got some people even got like texts or emails that they're getting deported, but then the next day was like, oh, never mind. It was really, really weird. But yeah, there's over 240,000 Ukrainians that have entered under this program since 2022. This move reassures displaced families who feared deportation. And this definitely shows that Trump's tone shifted from previous kind of skepticism toward more humanitarian messaging. So it's a rare moment of clarity. And even though U.S. is divided on foreign policy, but there's unity in offering refuge to Ukrainians right now, for sure.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure I'd extend it far enough to say he's thinking about the humanity of the situation. I think that there's a political payoff for him for doing it.
Well, I was thinking actually when everything was happening that after with Zelensky and Trump, that's when I was really worried. I was like, oh, damn, he's kicking every Ukrainian out of the United States. But when that deal was signed, I thought it was kind of like, because it's about relations between the United States and Ukraine. So I think that kind of went in the deal, I guess.
It might have.
One would think, but
I doubt it, but I'm not saying it didn't. I'm saying it could have been that way. I think part of the issue is that he's more interested in what he gets out of things. So, for example, the deal that was signed with Zelensky over the mineral rights, that meant he was getting something. He always wants something in return. Everything in his world is transactional.
Let me guess. Maybe it's a Nobel Peace Prize?
No, say it ain't so. And to me, that makes it even more absurd, because you know that the world leadership and the people in the Nobel voting mechanism absolutely loathe the man. There's no way they're going to give him an award, even if he says, here's $10 million.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. I just need and I go back to this whole thing with the, extension on the White House. It's all about him trying to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Because he knows if he doesn't get something like that, the only thing he's going to be remembered for is the most despised president in U.S. history.
But I think at this point, this Nobel Peace Prize, it's good that it's dangling in front of him, because he's doing stuff that, benefits Ukraine.
Yeah,
so
it's like the cartoons with the hungry horse pulling the heavy cart.
Yeah.
Wave a carrot in front of him and he just keeps walking.
So yeah, if it's for kind of the good, for the peace, and actually fine. At this point, if he does do actual actions towards stopping Russia, give it to him.
Mm-hmm. We'll do a couple of shout outs here because I can see them at the moment. The thing is stopped resetting itself on me. So we got Petra Olsen with 269 Swedish kroners in a super chat there with love to Ukraine. And with love, it will be sent. Thank you very much, Petra. Very cool. And then Johnny Negregard comes in as well with 22 Norwegian kroners. Hello, Shills. Slava Ukraine. Heroam Slava. Good shout, buddy. Into the pot. We'll do with it. And Go With the Flower Farm is up their membership up again with, I do believe, a message that just simply says thank you, which we're very welcome to have done something. Thanks. And I think our other channels are clear at the moment. Yes. All right. All right. You know what I just found out? I was saying, I'm a bit distracted. I didn't understand what was being said to me, but now I do. It turns out that I was volunteered to have Felix's uncle and cousins pop into my house for an hour or so hangout before they all get picked up to go do a thing after. And they'll be here in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or something. So we'll go another like 30 minutes, and then I gotta quickly switch into gear. How did they're my in-laws. You can't just volunteer me for this. Ex-in-laws. So
should your in-laws be any different than anyone else?
Yeah. Well, you're right. So
well, it sounds like you're gonna have a lovely Saturday.
Yeah, maybe. I hope it's the good side of the visits, not the bad side. You know how that can go sometimes. Let's hope for the best. But yes, let's get back on track here.
I have a couple of super chats. Thank you so much. Papa Dutch is saying Trump has a major problem with paying no attention to his advisors, because he knows damned well he bought people who don't know jack shilts so that they don't disagree with him.
Yes. Good shout.
And another one from Papa Dutch. A rare moment of clarity for Trump would be realizing he sucks at golf.
Oh, that cheating clip, man. Oh, that's just so funny. Oh.
Do you know what happened? Oh, after he visited Scotland, he was complaining about like windmills and stuff on his golf resorts, and after he left Scotland and Scottish fashion, they put up we're putting up the windmills.
Yeah.
All around the golf course.
Yeah.
Day after.
Oh man, that guy's hilarious. I think to him the windmill creates the wind.
I got a couple of more super chats from Papa Dutch. Thank you so much. A rare moment of clarity for Trump would be realizing he sucks at golf. That's another one. But drama is relative. The more relatives you have, the more drama you have.
It's something I'm finding out literally as we speak.
Papa Dutch, what are you suggesting here?
So earlier in the chat, somebody asked a question about Kaliningrad. That little Russian enclave in what used to be called East Prussia. It's the Russians seem to be making an effort to just be annoying over there. They're putting on these huge jammers that disrupt cell phone communications, GPS signals, everything. And they're doing it from Kaliningrad because that's the furthest west point of Russian territory. And honestly, there's not much Europe can do about it. You know, you can complain, but oh no, we didn't do it. It's one of those easily plausible, deniable things.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, why are they doing it? To be assholes, honestly. That's why.
Well said.
We have a question coming in, which is really good. This is from White Fishy. Question for the panel. What do we think about Zelensky's open call for regime change in Russia?
I'm in favor of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it starts a conversation. Obviously, that's not what's going to happen. But see, Zelensky, when he does something, it's extremely strategic. And there's a lot that we don't know, maybe behind the scenes and stuff. But it may be part of Russian collapse, a huge part of it. And the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
Just had a sneeze attack come on as I was trying to say something. 1 second.
Bless you.
Okay, I think I'm done there. And my thought's gone.
Oh, I was waiting. I'm like, he's got something interesting to say.
Oh, that threw me for a loop. That sucks. Pre-show we were talking about the damage to the sub base, Commander.
Yeah. So we had that earthquake, and everybody in the Pacific area was warned, you know, about potential tsunami issues. The main Russian submarine base for their Pacific fleet was very near the epicenter of said quake. And it got hit with a wall of water that was like 14 feet tall. Took out lots of facilities, docks, just washed away, that kind of thing. They're going to have to rebuild those facilities because the facilities you use for submarines, particularly ballistic missile submarines, are different than what you would use for regular ships.
Right.
And the problem is repairing and rebuilding that base becomes hugely problematic since there's neither a road or rail connection to it.
Right.
Everything that comes into Kamchatka has to come in by sea. And that means not just the materials, it means skilled workers, because there aren't a lot of people living in Kamchatka. You know, it's basically where you send military people to be stationed, and that's about it. Yeah. So it's going to be hell on wheels for them to try to get that thing back up and operational. And we're assuming that they did an emergency sortie before the tsunami hit and got all their subs out. But we don't know that. Some of them may have been in port and they're damaged too.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a big problem. I suspect what's going to happen is they're not going to rebuild it. They'll probably just kind of abandon it and build new facilities in Vladivostok, which is further south. But that means that every Russian naval asset for the entire Pacific and Indian Ocean region is pretty much centered in one very vulnerable port.
As I was also saying this, excuse me, before we went live, that Trump or United States called Russia bluff, basically, because Russia is threatening the world with nukes, and especially after Medvedev said about the dead hand. But yeah, it was that United States called Russia nuclear bluff because Russia has like 12 ballistic subs and 10 are in port. Russia's strategic aviation has suffered 22% losses in the last 3.5 years. Oryeshnik doesn't really exist. It was just a prototype. Poseidon doesn't exist. Skyfall doesn't exist. And Sarmat hasn't had a single fully successful launch. So the foundation of Russia's nuclear doctrine is the threat of nuclear war. It's just a threat. And yeah, what Trump said for the first time in like 40 years, the US finally called it a bluff.
Mm.
Yeah, and most of the Russian submarine part of that triad are fairly old vessels, old submarines. So they're comparatively easy to locate and track when they're out there, which means that's a vulnerable leg of the Russian strategic forces. They've lost a number of aircraft, the whole one with the spiderweb or whatever the attack was that used to the drones launched inside Russia proper.
Right.
That took out mostly strategic level aircraft. So that part of their triad is also impacted. So all they're really left with is an aging and not particularly well maintained, silo land launched missile threat.
Mm.
So yeah, calling their bluff is probably a very valid and wise strategic move in this case.
It also costs a lot to maintain the nuclear arsenal. And this is an example. In 2021, the US budget to maintain its nuclear arsenal was $64 billion. That same year, the entire Russian Ministry of Defense budget was $62 billion. So
Right.
to go with Commander Macmillan's, that most likely they're not keeping it up as well as they should.
Yeah.
Or should not.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen a few people that ponder, how much of it's truly operational at this point versus how much is just, cardboard tanks on the battlefield, so to speak, now.
I mean, that's all they have is threats.
Yeah.
That's it. They've been threatening this for everything. You give long-range missiles to Ukraine, we'll nuke you. We'll nuke you, not London, Munich. You give Thurs, we'll nuke you.
And
it boils down to the fact that it's really the only threat they have left in their inventory.
Yeah. But the other side of that threat is if they ever just launched one, how many are instantly just going to eliminate Russia as a place to live even? Like there's so many people that could go, now that you've done it, you got to go right now. Like the fear, how many people have some at their disposal? I can't see them actually doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Plus,
And-
they have like kids and properties and like family in Europe.
Just like Sting was singing, right? You know, hope the Russians love their children too. Remember?
Love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't, but
the point I think that needs to be clear is that when you start playing with the threat of strategic warfare of that nature, it is different, radically different than when you're talking conventional war. And Putin knows this, yet he's still willing to kind of walk up to that edge and poke his finger over the line, just because he doesn't really have any other, I hate to go back on the cards in his hand right now, but yeah, that's really what it amounts to. He's shown conclusively over the 2.5 years of fighting in Ukraine that his military, his conventional military, really is no way as dangerous as everybody had thought prior to the war breaking out.
Yeah.
So to him, that's the only toy he can, make noise with that anybody will pay attention to him with.
Yeah.
But you still have to take all those threats seriously. And in terms of the comment you made of, they launch one, the timing in the nuclear warfare circle is from initial detection. You have basically 7 minutes as the targeted nation to decide on what it is you're going to do.
Right.
Because after 7 minutes, the time it takes for you to put your forces on alert, get them to go through the process of getting ready to launch and then launching, you've already lost it. Those inbound weapons are going to hit and take out your own missiles.
Mhm.
So there's just 7 minutes for people to make a decision. And assuming we're not in, crisis mode where everybody's hunkered down in the bunker underneath the White House, let's assume that the president is off playing golf or is at a rally or something.
Right.
You have to extricate him from that, and that takes away from that 7 minutes by 1 or 2 minutes. So now you're down to 5 minutes. And the ramifications of the decision you're being forced to make in that very, very limited point of time, it's not an easy thing to decide on or what you're going to do. So, it shows just how hugely dangerous all this is.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that. They've been familiarized with the entire process of going through the strategic warfare plans.
Yeah.
Commander Macmillan, does the dead hand, do you think, actually exist in Russia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We do not have an equivalent. But what happened is the Russians back during the height of the Cold War, the Russians kind of acknowledged to themselves that their detection and warning system and communication system was such that there was a good chance that they wouldn't get to act within that 7-minute time frame. So what they did was basically put in place a system where if the missile silos don't get constant acknowledgement that everything is okay, everything is okay, everything is okay, when they don't receive that signal, they automatically launch.
Oh.
It doesn't require somebody human to decide to do it. The computerized system basically says, I didn't get the thing saying I'm okay in Moscow. They've obviously blown Moscow off the map. We have to blow America off the map now. That's what the dead hand system is.
I'm not gonna lie, it's clever.
It's clever, but it's also terrifying when you think of all it takes is some little glitch in what's probably a fairly complicated system to go wrong, and then suddenly Russia just, we have to launch because that's what the system does when it doesn't get that signal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna give Rob a little 5 minutes to sit and think about what he's done. You got a little prick in the live chat.
Go to your corner.
Rush back and see what we're going on about.
Yeah. Oh, he was telling us all about how the Obama election was where it all started, because that was the coup. That was that's just. This putz is so far down the MAGA hole. I'm sure he can smell Donald Trump's shit on his nose.
No kidding.
Gross. I have a couple of super chats from Papa Dutch.
Cool.
Saying Trump and his cabinet remind me of the Obi-Wan Kenobi comment about who is the more foolish.
Yeah. The fool or the fool who
By the way,
follows
thank
him.
you so much, Papa Dutch, for sending gift memberships.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. And then Papa Dutch says, if their submarines or their nukes are as cutting edge as their aircraft carrier, I think it a small concern.
Oh boy, the Kuznetsov, yeah. That ship had one of the most jinxed histories of any ship ever. It's just ridiculous. You know, it was the first Russian full-deck aircraft carrier, and they went to show it off to the world, and they kept having to delay the launch of the thing because there were so many problems. When they finally got it underway and sent it for its maiden cruise in the Mediterranean, the thing broke down so much that it had to have 2 tugboats assigned to go with it everywhere it went so that they could tow it back into port for repairs after it broke down.
Yeah.
It's had something like 5 or 6 major fires, you know, inside the aircraft carrier where something went wrong, and then they have to rebuild it. And I think earlier this year, they finally made the decision that, we're going to scrap this piece of junk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a Commander. I don't know if
even the Chinese wouldn't buy it off of them.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the reports, but the new North Korean ships going into the water there, you know, the fighters. I watched a report on that. Number one, a guy ripped into how it's just basically a ripoff of a Russian design with a few tweaks to it. But number two, they 2 or 3 ship builder designers, whatever, are convinced that they don't actually have propulsion installed in the ships, and they're literally just floating. And they went into a bunch of reasons why. There's not, the cooling vent system's all wrong. Most of the vents are missing and stuff. It's sitting too high in the water line, even considering it wouldn't be fully armed and stuff or whatever. It was a really neat report to see. It was hilarious.
Yeah, the interesting side note on the waterline situation. The first aviation ships the Russian launched, which were a couple of helicopter carriers, the design was so bad that when they launched them, the stern of the ship was like, 6 feet higher than the bow. It's supposed to sit level. Yeah. So their solution to this problem was simply to repaint the waterline to make it look like, oh yeah, this is how we planned to do it all along.
Oh man, that's like getting bad statistics on your jobs numbers and firing the messenger. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a lot of questions coming in, so I think we should get to them.
Yes, yes.
Question from Tim Moments. The Kursk K-141, Larry Kin, and Putin 2000, it sank. That grin on his face, we will see it again. Question from Sally Luz. How's the Car for Ukraine campaign going?
I can show you that real quick, actually. The campaign total is set to 253,000 euro, as you see there. And the campaign itself is at 237. So it's very, very close. I think we've gotten to about 1,500 or so on ours. We'll get the link in the description in case anybody's got a couple they could throw in, because it's really close. And we'd like to get this one closed out. And, well, what do you do when you close out a fundraiser? You plan your next one. So, you know. But yes, it's coming along great. Thank you for asking, Sally.
Then this is a comment for discussion from the real Vladimir Putin. They just launched a new submarine. They named it Pogrebenie в море, which is underneath the sea in Russian. Then we have a question from Who's Poopin? Who do you think about renewed Ukrainian targeting of Russian oil refineries, especially after Trump said it was a no-go area? Has he given the green light now?
I would suspect that Zelensky gives about 1/10 of a rat's ass.
There's been Ukraine has been sending a lot of its drones into Russia, into different strategic military targets.
Fucking blow it all up.
Yeah. Next, we have a question from Toth. Sorry. With so many Western components being found in Russian missiles, is there any realistic way to further tighter that trade? Titan, I think they meant.
I think I have a partial answer to that. There's nowhere near enough of a penalty for big business skirting the rules with side companies and stuff to still get the parts in. And I think it comes down to massive penalties for those that have found to set up, you know, shell companies and side companies to skirt the rules and ship things around and get it in.
It's more complicated than that, though.
Oh, yeah. That's just a part.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, what's happening is other countries are buying those parts for their own needs and then also skimming off some of what they're buying, or somebody is doing it and selling it to Russia for a personal profit.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't, I don't know, you can, but I don't think you should penalize, let's say, Kazakhstan for buying microchips because they're building something of their own. And then, you know, those same microchips are now turning up inside Russia. You have to prove that there's some organized scheme going on from the Kazakh government with the Russian government to say that now we need to penalize Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it given the nature of what's going on, it could very easily be individuals in those countries that are profiting off of these illegal sales.
Right.
Now, again, that's just a for instance. I'm not saying that there isn't or you know, or is a scheme going on between Kazakhstan and Russia.
Right.
I'm just using that as a for instance.
Yeah, yeah.
There was an actual investigation that revealed that American Ram trucks, about like 1,500 of them manufactured in US, were repurposed by Russia to launch kamikaze drones. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
These trucks entered Russia via the United Emirates and one Virginia-based exporter. They were seen launching Iranian-made drones in these videos. So I think it's a failure of control. And I mean, those are American trucks. American goods are no part of.
Who's orchestrating this illegal sale?
Yeah.
Is it the Emirati government or is it Abdul banana fish that's decided, yeah, I'm going to make myself a huge amount of money by selling all these trucks on to Russia.
Yeah.
Mohammed, Abdul, and John from Virginia. Bob.
Always comes down to Bob. A couple of shout outs here I'll do. One's from Petra Olsen here, 129 Swedish krona, and this time it says, this one's for Mr. Dawson. Well, thank you so much, Petra. I very much appreciate that. And we also had very much thank yous. We also had UTV and Ham come through with a $10 direct Ko-fi donation. Slava Ukraine from UTV with much love. Into the pot it goes, UTV. Thank you, buddy. Good shout. Good shout. We are close to my time limit. Yeah, I'm about to be invaded. So that's,
Oh, I have another super chat from Papa Dutch. Thank you so much. Saying if we buy weapons from the USA as opposed to them being a gift, are there restrictions on their use? Or can Ukraine just fucking have them?
I like the ending.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Yes, it is. Normally, I have a flip response for anything, but that kind of made me go,
Well, since we're on the car topic as well, yesterday the GOP posted a photo with Trump. It's called the American car. So, and it says, make automobiles great again. And the graphic that they used was a Soviet Lada. We have a picture of this.
Yeah, where is it here? Yeah.
I mean, this car is a relic of the USSR.
It's not even a new car. It's an ancient thing.
Yeah.
Still made in Russia and posting it during the peak US-Russia tension as well. I don't know. It's a little fishy, but
it could be a subtle way of somebody trolling him.
Yeah, right there. I don't even know what it resembles, like which American car it resembles.
It doesn't. There's never been an American car that looks like that. There just isn't. Yeah, it looks like a Fiat 124, which is the car that was re-engineered to be the Lada. It's definitely a Lada.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in Ukraine, we a long time ago, when I was little, we had a Zhiguli, and it looked nothing like Fiats. Let me tell you that.
I was just thinking about something. Almost all cars in the U.S. are now produced with internal tracking devices. So if your car gets stolen, they just let the police know, and the police can turn on a little thing that will say where your car is.
Yeah.
Giving the tracking numbers of those repurposed trucks to the Ukrainians could, present some interesting targeting options.
Exactly. You gotta realize these are Ram trucks, not Dodge Ram trucks. And as such, these are the new ones that have that tech in them.
Yep.
That's a really good call. Ho, ho, ho. What a gift that would be.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Our trucks are just disappearing. We can't figure out why.
Yeah. Or you get that whole, we'll just defeat the starter. There we go. That's not going anywhere. Put it into repo mode. Oh, yeah. Okay, so sorry to say, but yes, I actually didn't realize we had chatted a few minutes too long. We've got to get ourselves in wrap-up mode. Any last shout-outs to do or any there, Slavy?
Let me check. Yes, Papa Dutch. Thank you so much. He's saying, if I ever see a Zill or a Lada dealership in America, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think there was been a Lada sold in North America since like the early 80s, maybe late 70s.
I think
Studebaker.
somebody like in LA, I've seen it. They brought it from Russia or former Soviet Union, and just for shits and giggles, and like souped it up and like.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
World War II, Lend-Lease gave the Russians huge numbers of American-built trucks. And a large proportion of those were Studebaker trucks. The Russian government went to great lengths to put together a campaign convincing people that there was a factory inside Russia that was producing Studebaker trucks. Yeah, these are not American trucks. These are good Russian trucks.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, another super chat here to call out before we say our goodbyes. We got RC William in the chat with €10. He says, why not program and sell chips coded like Musk's GPS coordinates and sell them to Russia? You know, direct let Putin himself do the work. I like that very much. There's some trickery that could be done here if people would just try a little harder. Couldn't agree more. I'll thank the team here. We got Mexi Girl today on the Shills account. We got Annette in the chat, Chris Lundy, Shayna Caldwell, Liam Wakefield, PJ CNET, Carpazian, the AI alchemist himself, Jose C's in the chat, and Super Chat Matt as well. So huge shout out to the team on the Shills here, and I think Slavi will shout out her team as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you to everyone who supports these live streams through super chats, membership, or simply by showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're not just supporting content, you're fueling a cause. You're investing in a peaceful future, one without Russian terror. When you support Ukraine, you're helping more than a country survive. You're helping freedom win. To our viewers, thank you. To the live chat, thank you. To the Shills crew, thank you. And amazing mods of channel Yerochenko, thank you so much. Tim Moments and SSW Custom Sewing, you guys are rock stars as always. Yeah, you're the reason the stream exists, guys. So, and to the people of Ukraine, I just want to say, if any of you guys are watching, we see you, we stand with you, and we will not stop doing everything we can so Ukraine wins this awful war. And yeah, we'll see you next time right here where truth gets the last word. As always, God bless America and Slava Ukraini.
Good one. Commander, you want to give them your normal reminder and goodbyes there, and we'll hit a button?
Keep communicating with your elected officials. Tell them Ukraine is important. Every time you send a letter, text, email, or phone call, it does have an impact.
Damn right. Damn right, man. And you know they exist comes in with the last super chat here on the show. It's okay to jump over to Slavi's for super chats as well, people. And yes, it absolutely is. It's building up great over there. Lovely to see everybody. And
if you're new here, thank you for stopping by and subscribe. Like, subscribe, please.
Good thing to end on. We're going to hit the credits button. I hope you all have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you very soon for more. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Slava Ukraine.
It's over. Go home. Go.